Hi, my name's Rebecca.
And I'm Lisa, and we're Year 8 students here at Opua School.
We're here to talk to you about our idea for the Paihia Wharf and our environmental system. It all started with an environmental camp that was held on the Opua School field last March. And we just had another overnight camp earlier this month. In groups, we cleaned the streets of Opua, and we walked the coastal track from Opua to Tihome. Along the way, we found bags and bags of rubbish, like a plastic wheel, speakers, a radio, a lamp, and a heap of fishing line. We cooked our supper on billy cans and slept in tents. In the evening, we watched an environmental movie that was about looking after our sea life.
From a few seeds first planted about a year ago, Room 4 and Mrs. Young have created an award-winning garden. We decided to enter the nationwide TUI garden competition, and we won it over 600 other schools from right around New Zealand. Part of our prize were some hungry bins and 2,000 worms which we feed with some of our lunch food scraps. Our garden has produced lots of nutritious food to eat, including our very own homemade tomato sauce, which we sold at the Opua Regatta. We grow corn, lettuce, beans, celery, potatoes, tomatoes, basil, parsley, and much, much more.
We have a great system for our composting. We give our chickens the crust, and the peels that the chickens can't eat, we give to our worms in the hungry bins. To make sure this happens, during lunchtime, we have lunch monitors to make sure that we put the food scraps in the right bins.
Last year, one of our mothers, Mrs. Scott, started us off with our chickens by lending us her incubator, which we used to hatch lots of chicks. After a while, we entered the Far North District Council Enviro School garden competition. We won and got $1,700, which we used to buy our very own incubator to hatch more chickens from fertilized eggs from hens that belong to our caretaker, Mr. Uratonga. After 21 days, the eggs start to hatch. We watch their little beaks pecking through the shells until the chickens were able to break free. Some we had to help.
We left the chicks in the incubator for a day after they hatched, and then we put them into our chicken box, complete with our special heater and food and water dispensers. Once one lot of chicks are hatched, the incubator gets moved to a different class, and the process starts all over again. Each class names their own chicks. Some of the names our class came up with were Kentucky, Benedict, VIC, very important chicken, drumstick, wasabi, fried, and lettuce.
Once the chickens move into the big coop, they have a couple of months before they lay. Riley, Chantal, and Fisa and Sophia clean the chicken coop, feed the chickens, and collect the eggs, and they do a great job. With the eggs they lay, we make egg sandwiches every Wednesday and sell them for $1 each.
Mr. and Mrs. Young bought some bees for the school about a year ago. We had some help from local beekeepers and Mr. Uratonga. We also bought bee suits that the children use. The junior beekeepers, under the supervision of Mr. Uratonga, regularly look at the bees' progress. The bees have started to produce honey, and Rob Reed, who lives locally, very kindly donated a honey extractor to the school.
Last year, some of Room 4 children chose to make rafts. After weeks of collecting plastic bottles, they were let loose with tape, rope, hundreds of plastic bottles, wood, and their imagination. They raced the rafts down at the local beach. Even though it wasn't great weather, the whole school went to cheer them on. When we had finished with the rafts, we pulled them apart and made them into a plastic bottle greenhouse by our garden. At the top of the hill at Cane Street, the first annual trolley derby was very well attended. We had 14 entries and only 2 of the carts were made at school. The rest were a collection of homemade trolleys. They raced from the top of Cane Street to the bottom at the gym club, and The overall winner was Sam Marsh, representing Australia.
With some plastic bottles, we created ocean sculptures for the competition in the Volvo Ocean Race. We had lots of help from parents and children in room 4. We made a jellyfish, a starfish, a whale skeleton, and a sea scarecrow, which are placed in our walkway by the garden. This water fountain was installed at the Paihia Wharf by the Hauraki Golf Conservation Trust in September, with the aim of providing thirsty travellers with the opportunity to refill their water bottles with fresh water to stop the need to purchase bottled water, which would stop plastic bottles ending up on the beautiful beaches.
We think we should do the same here on Paihia Wharf. It doesn't even have to be a plain old drinking fountain. We could make it into a sculpture, then it may turn out to be a tourist attraction. Maybe we could have a dolphin drinking fountain with the water coming out of its blowhole, since the boats look for dolphins.
If this idea works, when we do our camp next year, we won't have to pick up so many plastic bottles, and our beaches, birds and sea life won't end up like this.